They've changed a little bit how the screen looks, so I'm just going to have to check. I haven't gone live since New Year, so here we are. Okay, we've got 5 people watching. I realized that I don't have my tripod, so we're just going to have to deal with having the phone like with books like holding it up, I guess. And for the 5 of you who are here, let's see if I'm thinking maybe of doing either this chicken thingy with bulgur, a Mediterranean chicken, or this fish thingy. It looks like just a mess, but it's this fish thing. Okay, let's see. Oh, hello, Sick. Hello. It's been a while. I'm thinking, because I need to get rid of the chicken or the fish first, I have to choose one of those two. I have another one that says vegetarian teriyaki, but that one can keep, so it's okay. Should we do the chicken? In that case, I will have to make sure to have everything clean. Yeah, it's kind of silly, but I have to film myself at my work, so I have my tripod at my work, and that's not very conducive to making this stream. I think I'll start with the chicken. So let's show you guys the thingy. So this is the chicken. It's supposed to be Mediterranean inspired chicken with roasted green vegetables and parsley bulgur with a bunch of stuff. And I've looked at the steps beforehand. The first thing is to deal with the vegetables. So let's take out all the ingredients. I'm going to try to put the camera so that, sorry, I have to deal with all of these like things when I don't have a tripod. There we go. Okay. You guys are lucky. I even bought a new knife at the beginning of the year for this. Okay. I'm taking out the stuff here. Okay. I think that was it. I'm going to just start doing the stuff, and then once we've got the vegetables into the oven, then I can actually look at the chat and see what's going on. I won't be able to really beforehand, I don't think. So let's get our chopping board, and let's deal with the chicken last, because, well, yeah, we don't want to contaminate things with the chicken. Anyway, as you can see, there are, as usual, some really bad tomatoes. This is a very, very green tomato. HelloFresh is not very good at getting fresh. This is a lemon. This is a bell pepper. This is an onion. We've got some parsley. And we've got some seeds, some pumpkin seeds. And we've got the bulgur. And we've got Mediterranean pearl, and we've got this thing that's a bouillon thing, and we've got some yogurt. So the first part is to warm the oven to 220 degrees Celsius, or if you have a warm a ventilation kind of oven. I don't know what you call it in English. No, wait. How do you... I've forgotten how to use my oven. It's been it's been such a long time. Anyway, so it says to cut the bell pepper and the tomatoes into 2 centimeter big pieces, and then to even cut the onion in 2 centimeter pieces. This is a classic. This is a classic HelloFresh recipe that requires you to do a bunch of chopping and putting vegetables in the oven, which I think is a good starter HelloFresh to start with. Let's see. So let's peel a little bit of this onion. Anyway, guys, if you're in the comments, like, say hello to each other. It always makes people happy and feel welcome. Maybe it's only sick on here at the moment. I think that there was another person who wrote, but I didn't see what they said, so I'm sorry, I'm going to have to get to this later. Okay, I mean, I haven't done this for... I realized that my latest HelloFresh delivery was last August, so that is ages ago. Okay, I feel like just chopping the onion first because I'm getting into this. Okay, I haven't even tested this knife yet, so I'm not used to it. Okay. It's straight from the packaging because people have been telling me that my knife isn't sharp enough, and I can't be bothered with sharpening, buying a knife sharpener. So I just bought a new knife. Like, I don't care anymore. It's probably not good for the environment, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm not even sure I like this knife. I got it pretty cheap. Anyway, let's take away the skin of the onion. And also, people have commented on my cutting skills before. I am aware I am a dangerous lady. I don't really do things the way that you're supposed to, and one day I will cut my hand off. But if we don't take risks, then we're never going to be cooking anything ever. So this is my compromise. Okay, there we've got the skin off. Now, I don't know how you cut an onion, but I try. And so, yeah, I just do it like this. And then, I don't know, I'm guessing that you can just chop like this. Oh, I forgot, you were supposed to do 2 centimeters big pieces. Oh well, 2 centimeter pieces is like, I guess like that. I guess that this is chopping it 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters. Anyway, I thought that I was going to do this finely chopped, but that was not. It wasn't supposed to even be finely chopped. Okay. Okay, here we go. I think that we want to have this in smaller pieces, to be honest. Because who wants to have like a piece of onion in their mouth? To be honest, I think that we need to make these into smaller pieces. Okay. Because I don't want to just eat a huge onion chunk. But yeah, that goes to the side. Oh, sorry, I'm doing it like in front of you guys. But we're going to put this on top of the sheets. I've already put the sheets like in a step that I prepared earlier. Like the true chef that I am, I actually prepared this sheets on the baking sheet. There we go. So we put all the onion pieces a little bit spread out, because then we're going to be putting the bell pepper. Let me just check what is going on in the live chat. Oh, it's Distrak says hello. Hello, Distrak. Is it Distrak like distraction? Is that what it stands for? Okay, tomato. Okay, these are the saddest tomatoes ever, but I say this every time that it's HelloFresh. I mean, look at that. That's like green. Okay. So we're going to make these kind of okay. Kind of okay. There we are. Oh God, it's green inside. Is that even possible to eat? I don't know. I guess that when you put it in the oven, it suddenly gets better, but I do feel like I want to get rid of these really green parts of this tomato. So yeah, the inside is going out here. No green. I do not want any green tomatoes. I don't know. This is definitely not Mediterranean onions. Or sorry, tomatoes. Yeah. Okay, I think that we just need to kind of spread these out. Oh, gosh, it's so green. I'm sorry to say, but I'm a little bit concerned about these tomatoes. Okay. There. Okay. I'm going to use a spoon and chuck this green stuff out because it's just not worth it. Okay. The reason that I'm doing HelloFresh now is because I actually got 25% off because they want to get me back into HelloFresh. So otherwise it's like it's barely worth the price, you know. So I'm just scooping out the green, because the seeds anyway don't get, like, it's not good in the oven, you know, it doesn't keep. Okay. So I don't know, I'm going to be talking a little bit about my therapy session because I haven't seen my therapist for about 4 months. I haven't seen him since before Christmas. So, okay, all of this greenish stuff is going into the trash. Okay, well, I didn't really clean it very well, but that's because I have another tomato that seems even worse. But if I see that the inside is terrible, then I'm going to... no, I'm sorry, I can't deal with this tomato. I'm going to throw that tomato out. I can't deal with that. Okay, that is pretty bad of HelloFresh. I mean, they say that they're fresh, they're not. Okay. Yeah, I never know how to cut a bell pepper, but apparently there is no real way of doing it, so this is the way that I do it. I just like cut it from the top, 4 different slices, and then like I add, I try to avoid getting the seeds in. I kind of find it funny when there's like a little bell pepper inside the bell pepper, like they were trying to grow a little baby inside. And here I am just like slicing the baby off. Okay. No, so yeah, I hadn't been to my therapist for about 4 months. And I don't want to make a separate video about it, so that's why I'm doing it on a live. Basically, I don't know what happened to him. He was on sick leave for 3 months, and I saw that his face was, I don't know what happened to him, but he got like hit in the face or something. I didn't ask him because I felt awkward, but I think that either he got like an operation on his face, or he got hit in an accident, or somebody hit him. I don't know what happened, but I wasn't about to ask. But it kind of, well, now it explains why he was on sick leave. But like that really kind of scared me, I guess. But yeah, obviously, since I'm an INFP, I am so concerned by my own problems, so I kind of focused on my own things, but that's what you're supposed to do in a therapy conversation, right? It's like I'm not supposed to ask my psychologist how they're doing. I don't know what the rule is about that, but anyway. So that was an interaction I didn't really know how to handle. But yeah, so if you guys have watched my video about intuition and such, I'm not sure I'm like the best person to be qualified about following your intuition, because apparently I don't know what my own values are, which is kind of a problem. If I'm an INFP and I am supposedly supposed to be good at deciphering what my values are, apparently I'm terrible at that. Like deciphering what is my own values versus what society's values are. But the thing is, I didn't really know what he was saying, my therapist. I didn't know what he was trying to imply. Because he was saying that basically, I was explaining that I was feeling depressed and burnt out, and he confirmed that it's like all the symptoms that I was describing was basically symptoms of stress. I basically get these meltdowns, and then I cry for hours, and then I get a migraine. So he explained to me that actually crying is a form of the nervous system regulating the body, in that it activates the parasympathetic system with noradrenaline, which is the rest and digest part of the brain, as opposed to the fight or flight part of the brain. So when you have all this tension due to stress in your brain, I don't really know how he means like in the blood vessels maybe. When you have all of that, and then you suddenly release it through crying, then it creates a difference in tension that leads to you having a migraine. So I didn't know that, and I'm a doctor, so like, yeah, I learned something new. But that explains why I've been having migraines when I cry too much. And it's like, it's already a problem having to cry several times a week, or like every day. And then getting a migraine from that, it's like, not great. Okay, now I think that I'm done with that. Let me check the live chat. Is anybody saying anything? Oh, hello. What? MZS says, plastic cutting board, consider switching to wood. Well, actually, no. I'm just going to do however I want, because I do whatever I want. Also, the thing is, I'm going to be cutting up chicken, and like, I don't want to destroy a wooden cutting board. I used to have a wooden cutting board. It got, really messed up, and okay, like, I'll get microplastics in me, but you do you, we all do the way that we can. Anyway, so we have all that. Then it says to put olive oil on it, but I have no olive oil, so that is really sucking. And so all I have is this stuff, which is butter and rapeseed oil. I'm just going to put just some bits and pieces of it a little bit spread out. Now, this isn't going to be very aesthetic or nice looking, but we live. I got this expression of "we live" from Dana Anderson. I don't know why I do that. Okay, we're just going to put it on, and we're just going to put it on. And this is really, really stupid. Maybe I should be like, MCA is like freaking out in her corner, like, what is this girl doing? Yeah, welcome to my kitchen where nothing makes sense and where everything is bad for you. Okay. Yeah, so the whole point is me doing what I want, like for what I value rather than what other people value. And so that's kind of the point, is that I care about other people's opinions too much. And yeah, so that's why I get triggered when people give me suggestions about what to do in the kitchen. Because, you know, to be honest, I can't give a damn when I don't even know how to. I don't even know how to cook, and this is the only way that I can actually cook something rather than nothing at all. So that's why we're here. And I learned to cook for you guys, because this was good content. I guess. No, I mean, I also learned a good skill, you know, but anyway. Okay, so then it says we will put some of these things, which is the two different spices that they have here, and then put salt and pepper on it. Because I didn't take the, you know, I'm sorry if I scared MCA off. I hope that you, I mean, you didn't mean anything bad from it. I'm just saying that, like, yeah, if you want to keep watching, I guess that you'll have to get used to it. Because I'm not going to be caring about what people's advice in the kitchen is. I've had people, like, get really mad at me for using dull knives, and yeah, I've got all sorts of people. And if I listened to them, I would, you know, I would never cook a day in my life. But yeah, so apparently I don't really know what my values are compared to other people, because I've always been masking, you know, my, because masking my autism was like vital for me. Okay, salt. Okay, I have to be careful with this pepper container because it always gives me too much pepper, so I'm going to do it from very high up, just like a sprinkle. Okay, there. There we go. Now, then we put it into the oven for 10 to 15 minutes or until they're soft. So here we go. I love myself for scaring everybody in the comments. I'm really sorry. I'm trying. Okay, there we go. We've put it into the oven. Now let's do a little bit of cleaning here. Okay. Okay, I'm just eating a little bit of the rest of the leftover. Because I needed a snack. Okay. Okay, we're going to have to clean the cutting board soon. But we're not there yet. We're going to have to put that somewhere away. Anyway, the spoons will have to be cleaned, so they're going into the sink. Okay, now we're cooking up the bulgur. So basically we need to get, you know, and also my pots and pans, I wonder how clean they are, but they're clean on the inside, but on the outside I'm just not good at cleaning. So I'm putting some water in there. So we got water. I realized that every time I do bulgur, I put too much water, so we're going to be doing with less water this time. I only do bulgur for HelloFresh, so anyway. Oh, okay, so the first step is cooking up the whole thing. So here we are, cooking it up there. And I don't know if you put salt in it. No. Oh, well, you put the salt together with the bulgur, but I know I'm going to forget putting the salt together with the bulgur, so I'm putting the salt in beforehand. It might be wrong, but let's hope not. Okay, then we're just going to put some things back into the fridge. Okay. Oh, it smells like all the spices. Okay, let's go back to the live. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, let's go back. Okay, I need to really go back here. I don't think there's a rule. You can ask a therapist how they're doing, but it's not mandatory. Yeah, no, it's, I just, you know, I kind of, I kind of talk to my therapist like I'm talking to a wall in a way. And I don't know if that's okay, but that's kind of how I do it. It's up to interpretation, Ingrid. From the beginning, when I was 12 or so, I made up the universal name combining the Swedish word this with drak for dragon. Oh, okay. A fellow Swedish person in here. You know, because in my hometown, the name of the river was called Drak because it was like a dragon. So there's this statue in my hometown in France where there was a lion, like with his paw on a serpent, and basically it's like the serpent is the river, like the dragon, I guess, and the lion has his paw on the serpent, like he's dominating. And it's the Isère is one of the rivers, and the Drak, and then they go together. And the lion is kind of, you know, being secure, like, you know, being in the space of the town. Okay, let's see. I think it's fine to not know, and then because it's a process that takes time. At least you're making real food. Personally, I just throw a bunch of stuff in a pressure cooker and magically end up with food for a whole day. Well, yeah, usually I don't cook. That's the thing. Usually all I do is I cook pasta. I cook up pasta. I put some ready-made tomato sauce. I put some ready-made shredded cheese. There's this Tex-Mex shredded cheese that I usually put on. And then I have this vegetarian pasta sauce. I combine the two, and that's my meal. And then I've got like, you know, some ready-made salads. Actually, I got this, which is like a potato salad that's vegan. So I don't know how good that is, but it seems to be like produce, like it's ecological and stuff. So I got it for 10 crowns. It was actually pretty good. But yeah, with the cost of groceries going up, everything, it's like, I'm just glad if I'm able to find some food I can eat. And then sometimes I'll cook some zucchini or a broccoli, you know, like I cook myself one vegetable. Okay, let me just check the oven a little bit. Okay, we're going to leave it for like 5 minutes more or something, and then we're going to take it out. So I think that it's time to add the bulgur now. Come on. Come on. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know what my values are. So, sorry, I'm getting bulgur all over the floor. Okay. So I don't know what my values are compared to other people's, and because I was so depressed and like burnt out, he started saying that he noticed that I had negative critical thoughts of myself. So the bulgur is we need to go down in the heat, not full heat anymore. And it says to put it under a cover for 9 to 10 minutes until they're al dente. I didn't know that bulgur can be al dente, but we know what that means. It just is a little bit, a slight resistance to the teeth. Okay, here we get to the scary part, which is doing the chicken. And I want to cut the chicken last so that I am done with the chopping board. So we're going to actually skip that step and go to step number 4 before step number 3, which is taking care of this lemon and taking care of this parsley. And then we can deal with the chicken last. Because we're not going to be done with the bulgur yet, so yeah. I know I'm taking risks here. Okay, so it's just cutting up the lemon into different slices. I don't know what they want us to do with the slices. I think that I don't know if the lemons are... No, they're not included. So I think that actually what we're going to be doing is using the saft, the juice of the lemon. So it's actually okay to cut it in half like this and just cut it into more halves. It doesn't need to be like pretty. The thing is to get all of the juices possible. Oh, it smells nice like lemons. Oh. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now we have the lemon pieces. So that was a good use of our tray. No, I mean, my ISFJ friend got super freaked out cutting chicken on a plate and on his cutting board. He has a wooden cutting board, because he's like a person who actually cooks. But I, he's so scared of getting E. coli and Campylobacter and all of these things, because we're both doctors, so we, unfortunately he hasn't gotten over his fear of getting an infection. Well, for me, I'm a little bit more lax about this, but I think that I got a little bit scared from his fear. I got some fear because I didn't really realize that there were risks. Okay, now with this parsley, I'm going to be taking off the stems kind of the parsley, because nobody wants to eat that. Well, I'm the only person eating this, but I do not want to eat that. So we're going to just take off these little stems so that we can then put it onto the food afterwards. Okay, I have no idea of time, so I really should have put timers, but it's like, yeah, that's where my time blindness comes in. I don't know how to do it. I kind of have time from the video, so I know like when I started this whole thing, but I don't know when I put in the things in the oven, and when did I put in the bulgur and all that. So I'm just doing things by feeling, and my feeling in terms of things in the kitchen is not very good. Okay. No, but so I was saying, like, having self-critical thoughts, and my psychologist was like, well, you need to think about what you value as opposed to what other people value, because you can't control what other people value, because, well, yeah, they're not you and they'll have different values from you. And I'm like, yeah, great, but like I live in a society where like my reputation and things happen, and in life, and like I can't really, I don't even know what is my values. And so he said, so what is it that you think about when you're in a depressive state? You know, what are those self-critical thoughts? And I said, basically, I think that I'm useless when I'm in that state. And he said, okay, but do you think that people have worth? The thing is, in Swedish, it's the same word for being useful as for being, as a person, I mean, and having worth, and values is the same word. It's not really the same word, but it's just different sets of words to describe different things. And I got a little bit confused there because I'm not used to talking about the topic of values in Swedish. I mean, I've lived here for 11 years, 10 years. But it's not like I grew up talking about this. Okay, now I've put all the stems to the side here. So, so I think when I'm feeling bad, I think like, oh, I'm being worthless, or I am worthless. And so he said, well, if you believe that everybody has a value, then that is one of your values, that you believe that everybody has worth, right? So why don't you apply that to yourself? You know, if everybody is valuable in your eyes, if everybody is worthy and useful, then why aren't you taking yourself at the same standard? So yeah, I'm valuable because I'm a person, because I believe that people have a worth as people in general. And so that's positive, I guess, but that doesn't really work for my other values. It doesn't work for, like, I sometimes feel like I'm incompetent. It's like, well, I don't believe that everybody is competent. So how do I use that information? So that's my question for my next appointment, is like, how do I do this? Okay, that was kind of a mistake doing this, actually, because now I don't know where to put the, okay, I'm going to have to take out the little bowl and put the parsley in the bowl, and the lemons in the bowl. It's kind of messy with parsley because it's like, yeah, it sticks to everything. In general, I'm not such a fan of parsley. If I can use other kinds of herbs, I'd rather use other kinds of herbs. But it's okay. What's good is that it's kind of mild compared to some other things, some other spices and stuff. Anyway, okay, so, we keep that for later. Okay. Yeah, I'm eating a little piece of parsley at the moment. It's getting stuck in my teeth. Okay. What is it, says Luki. Oh, well, what I'm cooking at the moment, for those of you who are new, I'm cooking this thing, which is this Mediterranean-style chicken with bulgur and roasted vegetables. Anyway, let me get back to the live chat. Honestly, the past few years, I mostly only ate canned food, so my cooking skills are so bad. Well, at least you're not wasting money. Because, yeah, I waste money on ready-made meals, which, costs a lot. But my biggest issue is that cooking is time-consuming. It takes me a really long time just to have a meal to consume in like 15 minutes. I need to spend an hour at least to make it because of attention issues. Oh, exactly, Silk Ninja. I totally agree. That's why this cooking stuff is so stupid. Okay. but that's why I do it on lives. I basically only can cook on lives. Okay, oof. Okay, I maybe left it in the oven a little bit too long. Oh no, I left it in the oven for too long. Okay. Okay, well, the vegetables are burnt. We're going to put the fan on. This is what happens on lives, like on a regular basis. But at least this kind of has some comedic effect for the viewer, I guess. Oh god, it smells burnt. It smells burnt. We have to save the vegetables now. Okay. It doesn't matter because I have like salad and stuff, so if we can't use that, I have a plan B. Oh god. I think that we're going to have to move this off. Okay, I narrowly escaping a danger fire in my kitchen. Okay. Well, at least the peppers and some of the onions, I think the tomatoes are like unsalvageable, but at least the onions and peppers are okay. Okay, I think I'm covering the vents that's over there, so okay. At least we tried. Okay. This is like abort mission. We need to really. Okay, good. Now let's get back to the bulgur. There. Okay. Oof. Oof. I think that we survived. I think that the bulgur needs a little bit more time, so we're going to let that go. And the oven is turned off. Right, good. Okay, let's get back to what's going on in the chat. Didn't look too burnt. Can you show it to the camera? I need to have the... Okay, wait. I think that the best thing is if I move you guys the camera. So this is the bulgur going on. Here is the vegetables. Yeah, it looks like half of the onions are like dead, and the tomatoes are dead, and the peppers are okay, I guess, but otherwise not really. Anyway, hello Luki, and hello Silk Touch Ninja, and hello Distract. I don't know if I said hello, I forgot. But yeah, so I don't have any cooking skills. I don't think they're too burnt. I think that I think I'll survive, but yeah, not great. Okay, let's check what's going on in here. Okay, I don't know what's happening in there, so maybe 5 minutes more. There's less of a risk of that burning up, so it's okay. Yeah, I'm keeping you up with the Shakespeare sonnets. Okay. Oh wow, we've got 13 people watching. That's more than I expected, to be honest. Okay. What do we do now? Now is the time to actually take care of the chicken, which is a whole other thing. But okay, and also people have been from around the world have wondered about if I clean my chicken, if I don't, and basically you don't. So I'm going to be using my old knife. Basically, you do not clean your chicken in Sweden, because there's more of a risk of you contaminating the rest of the kitchen with you cleaning the chicken than the other way around. So yeah, that is why I'm not like rinsing it in the way that people in some countries do, because people have wondered about that as well. Okay, we're just going to be cutting the plastic there. Now and so we're opening it up. Okay. And we're going to be cleaning the cutting board. We're going to do that we have to do that very thoroughly. Because I don't want, it's mostly after, obviously, that I'm sorry if you can hear all of the washing noises and everything. It's just quite a lot. So. Okay, good. Okay, now, so we have a cutting board. This knife goes there because it's my new nice knife. This is my old knife and my cutting board. I don't know why I got so paranoid after talking to my ISFJ friend, but okay, here we've got some things. Ooh, ew, what is that? Is that bone? Okay, gross. I don't want a bone in my chicken. Like, these are fillets, they're not supposed to have a bone. Okay. And so we're supposed to, like, cut it, each piece, each breast, into 3 parts. I don't know, these are, am I supposed to cut them all up? There are quite a lot of parts here. Okay. I hope you vegetarians are not too triggered by this. I will be doing one of the recipes which, I mean, not in this live, but another day. I will be doing vegetarian teriyaki, because that's one of my recipes in this. Okay. Yeah, I don't know in which way I'm supposed to do this. In 3 parts. In parts like this, or in parts like that? I think that this is supposed to be in, like, thin slices like this. So, yeah. Ugh. Okay. Thing is, I eat meat, but I don't like preparing meats. It just kind of grosses me out in a way. And it's like weird because, like, I'm a doctor. Like, I have dealt with worse stuff. but yeah, it's just a little bit weird to think that I'm going to be eating this thing. It's not like other people's organs. I don't eat other people's organs, generally speaking, I guess. I had my ethics course with the medical school, and then there's this, like, you know, if you guys know the trolley problem, there's also which is like a, you know, a psychological, philosophical experiment. There's also the organ donor problem, where there's like this one guy who's like has 5 healthy organs because he's, you know, a healthy individual. So he could save 3 other people who all need 1 organ. So, you know, by killing this guy off, you could be saving free people, that it's not morally, you know, it's not morally good to kill this healthy individual in order to harvest their organs, you know. I think that I need to recommend one of the books that I really like, which is Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. It talks about this topic. I don't want to spoil things too much. I think that I've already spoiled by just revealing that it has anything to do with this. But yeah, I think that it's important to learn a little bit about this subject, especially if I'm going to be working as a doctor. You know, we need ethical doctors in the world that don't just cut people off because they need their organs. That's not great. Not great practice. Okay, let's see. What do I need to do with this now? Okay, we need to get out the frying pan, and my frying pan is, of course, not clean. So we're going to have to clean the frying pan. So first we wash our hands. Oh, okay. I got a bunch of dishwashing products on my hands now, so yeah, because I didn't have any soap. Okay. Now let's clean our frying pan. My frying pan is like completely caked up. I should have thought about this beforehand. Okay, we're going to let some of this water sit for 2 seconds. I need to dry my hands. I'm going to dry it on some toilet paper. Okay. Because I don't have any other paper. Okay. Where are we in the live chat? I guess I will have an ethics course at some point. Yeah. That looks awfully slimy. Yes. Yes, it is awfully slimy, and I think that it's because it's like, you know, caked in some kind of fluid thingy that to preserve it. Anyway, cook is too good. Okay, Chris Chapin. I remember you told me that. Oh yeah, I told you that, exactly. Okay, well, yes, they are very slimy, but what can we do? Okay, let's make sure that the pan is fine. Okay, I really have left this pan to sit in its gross dirt for way too long, so we have to do a deep clean here. And I need to check the bulgur. I don't want to deep clean this pan. Okay, well, we're going to have to deal with it being not 100% clean. At least on the outside. On the inside, I think that it's fine. There's a little bit on the edges. Where is the paper? Okay. I'm just going to dry some of the water. I mean, the problem with cooking as well is just all this cleaning that you have to do. It's like, is this worth my time and energy? Anyway, the therapist, I talked to my therapist about, you know, all the rest that's going on with my town and the social workers and all that, and he was a little bit more skeptical towards it, so I'm glad that he's kind of on my side. I feel like I can connect better to a psychologist because we can talk more intellectually about things rather than dealing about practical things. I suspect that my psychologist is like, you know, an intuitive type. I don't know what type he is. I think that he's probably an INFP. I don't know, but you know, like I can talk about actual topics with him and not be like totally speaking an alien language. And like he's not interested in practical things, I don't think. Okay, I think that we're just going to have to put all of these pieces onto the stick panna, the frying pan. Okay, mid heat, not top heat, mid heat. Okay, sorry. Okay, now it's on mid heat. Now we're going to. Oh, I forgot to cut this one. Okay, well, I'm going to have to clean my fingers anyway, so I forgot. Okay, so now this is extremely slimy. Let's put it into the pan. Now I got this hand slimy, so we're going to use that hand. And yeah, ugh, gross. Okay, I don't know how you're supposed to do it, but I guess that we just vibe. Okay, here we go. Also, I think that the reason that it's good that it's slimy is also that it doesn't dry out when you cook it into the frying pan. Because also it doesn't say to use any olive oil or any butter in the frying pan. So I'm guessing that it's not needed. Usually they say all of those steps. That's what I like so much about HelloFresh, is that they tell you every step, so it's not like I need to sit there and guess, like, you know, if some recipes are just like, you know, like they assume that you know what it means to cook a chicken, you know? They're like, okay, just roast the chicken or something, or they use these terms and I don't know what that means and all that. Okay, well this is great because I have way too much chicken to be able to put it all into the pan at the same time, so what do they expect me to do? I'm going to try to just fit them all the pieces into the pan, because I don't want to do this one more time. I'm also going to have to check a little bit about how my phone battery is doing. Okay, maybe we should turn down the heat on the bulgur as well. Okay, this is slimy and gross, and I don't want to keep doing this. Okay. Oh, one of the leaves from my plant fell on top of my vegetables. I just have a bunch of just slime. I don't want any slime there. I don't want the slime. Okay. Now this is a lot to wash, and we're going to just have to let it take the entire sink here for a while. Okay, so I'm washing my hands, and then I'm turning off the bulgur, and then I'm looking at the comments. So slimy that it's stuck onto the thing. Oh, I guess that if I pick it up with some paper. But yeah, this is, you know, and my ISFJ friend was worried about chicken, and like, he has the world's cleanest house. I'm like, This is a very, very risky operation. Okay, now I think it's time for the bulgur to stop here. Turn off. Okay. And also he has my friend has a washing machine and a dishwashing machine. And he has, so like here I am having to do all of this dishwashing into the sink. No, for him it was just, he just had to do the chicken part into the sink and the rest could be in the dishwashing. Well, this is not at all. Okay. Okay, now something's happening with the chicken. I'm guessing that you guys can't see, which is sad for you guys, so here. I think that the bulgur should be done by now. We've had it on there for way too long. Okay, so the chicken is happening. Where is my spatula? Oh, it's in here with all the rest of the stuff to clean. Okay, so the spatula. Okay, spatula. Now we've got the spatula. Now we have to make sure that it's not sticking to the pan. And to be honest, better to have this too cooked than not cooked enough. Oh gosh. All these pieces of chicken are sticking to each other because I have too small of a place. But then I can like flip them over all at the same time, which is nice when they're all sticking together. Okay. I really like chicken. I think that chicken is one of the reasons that I can't really go vegetarian because I just love chicken too much. It's such a versatile thing. Like I can have it, it's, I like the taste of it. If I had one kind of, I can deal with not eating pork. I can deal with not eating, beef. I'm not really a fish person. I can deal with not eating lamb or whatever, but chicken, unfortunately, I am kind of stuck with eating chicken. Okay. Oh, they did say to put olive oil into the pan. It's just that they said it like way after. Well, I guess that since we don't have any olive oil, that's going to be difficult to deal with. I'm just going to have to make sure that it doesn't stick to the pan, but it hasn't stuck to the pan yet. Maybe it doesn't taste as good if you don't have any oil on it, but like, I don't know if my butter thingy is okay. Alright, well, let me just check a little bit on the battery of the camera. Okay, we're at 37%. We can live to see another day. Is stimmen. Yes, it is. Let me check the bulgur. Yes, thank you, I did. Okay, yeah. It's fine. My bulgur is probably doing okay. Oof, it's steam. Okay, we still haven't taken... Okay. I need a spoon. Okay, I think that the bulgur is fine. The problem is, once again, I have too much water in there, but I guess that we can pour some of the water off. Okay, I'm just taking the excess water off. Okay, there we go. Now we've got some bulgur. Good. Right, so here we've got the bulgur, and here we've got the chicken, and we've still got the vegetables over there in the corner. And yeah, all my trash is over there, so That's what we're doing. We're going to put you guys back. Okay, Anne says, I'm eating a takeaway pizza. Enjoy your pizza. Yeah, what are we cooking? We're cooking chicken with bulgur and veggies, exactly. So, okay, Anne, now you know what I'm doing. It's been chaotic here. I almost burnt my vegetables. Well, I did burn some of the vegetables. And also I, had trouble with cleaning all of these chicken things. And then, forgetting the bulgur. And everything is just a mess. But we're living, we're surviving. Also, I've been talking about my therapy and about how I don't know any of my values, which really sucks, but that's how it is. Okay, we need to clean this knife as well out of all the chicken. Chicken. But yeah, so I was really happy to go to therapy and actually be able to talk things through a little bit with somebody who's he doesn't. The problem is that he's a bit too nice, that he doesn't say anything, and that I'd rather somebody who's just nice, who doesn't say anything and doesn't. I'm just such a scared person. I'm I can't have a therapist that's too focused on having personal growth at all costs and scaring me in the process. I'm kind of, because I'm scared of change and everything. It's just really hard for me to do any kind of self-improvement. And I need somebody who's kind and supportive along the way. So I'm really glad for my therapist, even though, he's not really the best. I've had better, but he's the one that I have right now. So, okay, things are happening here. Okay, this was the top for the bulgur, so that we can put to the sink. Okay. We don't want the chicken to burn, but we don't want it to be uncooked either, so that's always the problem with chicken. Well, there are many problems with chicken. The first is contamination of it through, the cutting knife and everything, but also because of the cooking process. You have to really make sure that it's really white throughout the chicken. Anyway, I also want to talk about a certain thing that happens at work during the week. There was this doctor who is really, he's kind of, wants holistic medicine. And that in itself is okay, but the thing is, he doesn't really believe in that depression is a real thing. He believes that mental health can all be cured by, exercise and, ACT therapy and, with diet and stuff. And it's well, sometimes the whole point is that we are doctors, so we're going to have to act against what we think is, if you're going to, you can't really not prescribe antidepressants if you're a doctor. I mean, it might be wrong, but that's kind of we work within the system. And I also think that the patients don't like him, let's just say. And it's okay, you don't need to be loved by all your patients, but you don't want to be hated by all your patients as well. I've got several patients who were so scared of going to him that they chose to change healthcare center entirely after meeting him. So, yeah, and the problem is that my boss does not see that, because my boss is a nurse and he doesn't know really how to, what is correct in our profession as doctors. So he thinks that every opinion is worth the same, and unfortunately I think that this guy's opinion is not worth the same as everybody else's, because he's not doing the way that we're supposed to do things. And he had a lecture about mental health, and his lecture was really bad. And it's not just that I disagree with him, but it's also because he had information from 2011, like that's where he based his information from, which is, 14 years ago. And also he, which is a lot in terms of the mental health thing. And then he also, so he put autism. I mean, it wasn't about autism specifically, but he put autism as a psychiatric condition, which, like, I know that people can't be as into the autism, all the, intricacies of DSM and everything as I am, but still, like, his information still used the word Asperger's, and I got really triggered, and I actually left the room 10 minutes early. Because I couldn't stand it anymore. I couldn't sit there. I felt like I was going to scream. So I left the room, and I started crying when I left the room, and there was a nurse who's really nice, and he gave me a big hug, and like he said that he understands because he also hates this guy. To just say. Okay, I think that I turned off the heat on the chicken. I think that things are going to be fine here with the chicken. We've already done step number 4. So now is the time to actually mix all of the things together. So we're almost done. Let me just check the live stream, the chat. Hating a doctor is a bad sign. And helping I think that those things can definitely play a part in helping depression. Yes, of course. Of course these things can play a part. But I'm just saying that, like, okay, so I give that advice to patients by also, if they need a sick leave, help them with a sick leave. If they need medication, I give them medication, It's not either or. It's like sometimes one, sometimes the other, sometimes both. Well, actually, always the lifestyle changes. But sometimes I need to add, antidepressants. Sometimes I need to add sleeping medication so that they can, sometimes you need extra help. And people come to healthcare because, often they've tried everything else. And I'm not a psychologist, so I'm not supposed to give them therapy either. And it's like, yes, it's good to have basis, like knowing about different therapy forms and using it in your business as a doctor, but you're not the primary person who's giving the treatment. So I leave that to the psychologist to deal with. And I have no problems with my my cooperation with the psychologist is really good. The psychologists really love me, They hate this guy. I think that we respect each other and that we kind of are on the same page, but this guy is not. And it's like, okay, it's fine to want to be cutting edge and new think and such and innovating in healthcare. But the problem is that we work within a system, and the system, we have to treat our patients equally, and we have to, follow guidelines and such, and we can't just do test experiments on our patients, because we're not doing research here. We need to do what is tried and true. Unfortunately, that's kind of how it works, because otherwise you're going to hurt some patients. It's, we're in healthcare, we're not in research. Anyway, so obviously I know that some people in the comments might, I'm not, it's hard for me to give the whole picture, and I'm only obviously giving my own opinion on the subject, but his also the way that he presents information in the research that he looks at is wrong. It's not the right way. He doesn't go into all the details, and he doesn't accept when people contradict him, and I felt really like, I got a vibe that he doesn't really care about these patients. And it might just be that, like, might just be me interpreting his tone in a certain way, but sometimes I feel like he laughs at patients, and I don't like that. Okay, now we need to just put all this stuff together. I'm going to turn that off. Okay, good. Now, okay, so they want me to do something with this yogurt, and actually salt, pepper, yogurt, and lemon into a little bowl. But now I've already used a little bowl. Okay, wait, we need to put all this stuff in here. Okay, the vegetables should go into the bulgur. So that's number one. Oh, the bulgur was supposed to still be cooking, but I guess it's fine. How do they expect us to, like, put this in? I don't want all of this, like, fried stuff in here. But okay, we go. I'm doing all this with my fingers because I did wash my hands. Okay, that's carcinogenic. Okay. No, we don't want any carcinogenic stuff. No. Okay. Oh, my hair is static. Add all this, and obviously they want me to put more olive oil, but I don't have any olive oil, so okay, the tomatoes are completely messed up, so there's no way to use that in here. Okay. Okay. I mean, that's just charred stuff. There's nothing good in there. There's nothing good in there. Okay. Okay, well, I'm realizing things are burnt that, the onion looks black because that's fine, because that's how it's supposed to look like. But a lot of what I thought was, soft and black was actually just hard. It was like really caked in just charcoal, you could say. Yeah. Not my best work, but I did the work. Okay, that was just hard and stuff. These are basically just chips at this point. Yeah. Oh, that was charred. That was not good. I feel like I've increased my risk for cancer by tenfold just by this. Okay. Okay, that was it. I don't think I can salvage more out of this. Okay, now we add this to the bulgur. Good. Okay, there was still too much water in there, but it's good because I'm adding the things in here. Then we get, we put that in, we put the parsley in, we put the olive oil in, and this a little bit of So we put some of the lemon, some of the lemon. Nice. Okay. We put some leaven and we put some salt, some pepper. Oops, that was a bit too much pepper because that pepper shaker is completely insane. Okay, there we go. There aren't enough vegetables to actually make this look nice. Then we put the parsley in, and they want us to make like a little mix with the lemon, so we're actually going to have to take out the lemon out of here. Okay, putting some parsley in there. Okay, so we want to put all this parsley. Do we want all the parsley in there? Yeah, we want all the parsley in there. Because then we're going to be using this little bowl to make this extra like sauce with the yogurt and the lemons. So, okay, we put all of that in there. Okay, well at least that makes it look a little bit greener and nicer, fresher. Okay, that was good. Okay, so now we do, I don't know if they want us, no, okay, so the chicken is a separate thing. Now we've got this, we open the yogurt. Okay, so the yogurt goes in here. Oh, we put the yogurt in there. So this is going to be called lemon yogurt. Oh, there's this lemon seed. Oh, sorry. This isn't very clean, but okay. Good. Now, I still have some parsley in that little bowl because I didn't wash it, but okay. So it says to put a little bit of this lemon juice into, oh, it's squirting all over the place. So lemon juice. Oh, there went the seed. I don't want the seed. I don't want the seed. I don't want the seed. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to eat some of that lemon. Oh gosh. Some vitamin C into my silly little body. Oops, I think that you guys got a little squirt of something on there. Okay. Okay, they want you to put the salt and pepper as well in this yogurt, so I guess. I'm a little bit scared of putting salt in yogurt with pepper as well. Also, I'm scared of this pepper shaker. I have to be extremely careful. There. Okay. And mix it. Where's the? That's the problem of having cooking is also all this cleaning. Okay, there we go. Okay, I think I put a little bit too much of that lemon juice, so it's a little bit too watery. But let's see what. I don't know really how this is supposed to taste. Okay, and then we're going to put everything into a deep dish, put the chicken, put the yogurt, and put the seeds. Okay, now first I'm going to show you guys what this chaotic mess is. So here we've got the yogurt with the lemon, here we've got the bulgur, and here we've got the chicken, and I don't really know what to do. But I think that we just need to put everything together. Let's see if somebody... How can your boss be a nurse? Shouldn't he be well, the problem is that doctors don't want to be bosses because it means that they can't work their doctor job if they are a boss instead. And a lot of nurses, that's their only way of, professional progression is by becoming a boss. So it's actually pretty common in Sweden for a nurse to be a boss. It seems unprofessional. The problem is that people are writing and I wasn't there when they made a comment, so I don't know what they're saying. But yeah, so it's not great because my boss favors certain people above others, and because I'm not a specialist, yeah, he values this other guy's opinions more because he is a specialist and I'm not. And yeah, sad. Okay, let's try to put all of this into a bowl. But I think that we're going to have to put it into plates. Okay. So we add some bulgur. My bulgur is too watery. It's as usual. I'm going to try to avoid doing bulgur in the future because I haven't figured out the concentration of water to bulgur, basically. Okay, well, we start with that. The rest can stay inside here because I'm going to have to make another plate of this for tomorrow. Okay, and then we put some of this in, some of the chickens. There, the rest of the chickens is for tomorrow. And then we put some of this yogurt onto it. Okay. Nice. And then some of these seeds. Pumpkin seeds. Okay. I think I'm going to just put the pumpkin seeds into the yogurt. There. Then we've got all the lemons. We're going to have to deal with that later. I think I'm also going to have to make sure. I think I didn't put enough spice into the bulgur, so yeah, or into whatever. Maybe we can just like put a little bit on top. There. What's good with these things is that it's I can keep these things for later, you know, these spices. I've used quite a few of the spices from HelloFresh for later. Okay, there we go. Let me take, there is the thing. And, you know, it's supposed to look like this, which I guess is fine. I don't know, I'd like to take a picture of this, but I don't know how to do that. No, I don't know how to do that, so we're just going to stay on this. Looks good and healthy, yes. Thank you. Okay, so now we've done 1.5 hours to make a 30-minute recipe, but I'm going to be eating this and then we're going to talk a little bit. So here we are. Let's take some chill time now. I'm going to have to turn off some lights because, like, you know, I get a headache from doing all of this. Okay. A lamp. Okay. Now let's see. What else? We'll deal with that later. we just are going to take the books with us so that we can use that as like a makeshift tripod, because my tripod is still at work, because I'm supposed to film myself and I haven't done it. So yeah, that's the situation is not great. Okay. There we go. Okay, now we're in my usual spot. And now I can actually follow the chat, which is great. I hope I didn't miss anybody's comment. Okay, wait. Okay, N says, you're an FI dumb though. Thought we're all about values. Yeah, exactly. I don't get it either. I don't get it either. I thought that was all about values. And I am, but at the same time, I can't distinguish values. Like I can't articulate the values. Or the values go against each other and I can't follow them really. And I think that's because it's because we can't really, the values and everything, they're very subconscious, kind of. It's not like there are things that come into words. And yeah, so I think also disentangling your own values from other people's values is another thing as well. And also I talked to the therapist and I was like, but like, my values are not other people's values. So, what's stopping me from, because I value free time, for example. Does that mean that I should stop working entirely? And he was like, no, that's not what I mean. He said that it's not the same thing as having dreams or goals. I was like, well, what's the difference between values and goals and dreams? And because I said, like, I value things that very idealistic way, and so I will. So yeah, for me, what is a value is maybe like a dream for most people, and so I don't really know like what he was meaning by that. And also several values go against each other, so I value, the thing is also like certain of my values, I mean, I got them from society, right? So I value working hard, but like if it's going to burn me out, then I value, taking care of myself more than the working hard aspect. And if I value competency, but also at the same time I value, having inner peace, like there are things like they go against each other, and I can't really, it's hard to compromise or to find like that stable middle ground. Interesting. I mean, the bulgur it's all a little bit too soft. And that's probably because I cooked the bulgur too long with too much water. But the vegetables are actually kind of okay. I don't enjoy getting parsley between my teeth though, so yeah, but it's fine. And the pumpkin seeds are a little bit too chewy to my taste. Okay. We made ourselves something, so woohoo. What's going on? You're in a similar phase about values? Yeah. Because I was like, well, I could just, if I were to follow my values, I would not have to work a day in my life. Like I would, I would work at I would volunteer or something, or I would help my family, or I would do that kind of thing. But I need to earn my living somehow. And he was like, no, don't stop working. And that's not what I mean. He said that is rather a dream rather than a value. And I'm like, what do you mean? So I told him I was confused, and he didn't really know how to explain it in a better way. So, but yeah, I think that he's an INFP. So maybe he can figure this out for me. Because you'd think that I know how to do with what to do with values, but I really don't. I think it's sort of thing that you feel it as an INFP. You feel this goes against my values, but it's not like the words this goes against my values and stuff. It's just like this feels wrong, this feels right, this feels wrong, but I don't have any thing to hold on to. And also sometimes I'm confused. This could be right, this could be wrong, and 10,000 different things in between, because I can see all of the nuances between like what could be good and what could be bad about the situation. So yeah, I don't know. Bon appetit. Thank you. Makes sense. Maybe values can change in different seasons of life. Hard work over health in very specific short periods of time, and vice versa. Maybe strategic with breaks, etc. for burnouts. Yeah, maybe. It's not as simple. I think that the problem for INFPs is that we overcomplicate these things, because for most people, they do think about these things in pretty simple terms, but INFPs, our whole function stack is about finding nuance and complexity and everything. So because we see our values as extremely layered and nuanced things, it's not easy for us because we can see all of the nuances of things. That's the problem. True. You could try other avenues to bring you closer to living your values. If money is the issue, maybe other ways to make more. Yeah. Thing is, I chose the path of being a doctor, so like I can earn money through that really well. But yeah, so now I'm going down in time. So my my psychologist was like, that's good, you're following your values. And I'm like, yeah, thanks, but you're not explaining to me what this values thing is. Yeah, I mean, I'm being too harsh against him, it's not an easy thing to explain. But I just wish that, yeah, I need more steps to understand like what to do. And maybe the whole point is that, I need to find this path on my own. But I find that I'm not going to find the path on my own, or at least not until several years later. Maybe if somebody gave me a little tweak on the way, maybe I could understand these things within a few months. I need a little bit of a ladder to step on or something. I can't just be told this is what you do, this huge big thing. I don't know how to do it. That's why I need guidance. But that's the thing, is that, I talked in my latest video about like following my own guidance and my own reliance and everything. Oh, hello, Zadok the cat. You missed me cooking and making a mess and being chaotic. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm an ISFP or not. SE seems useful for just mindlessly doing something rather than dwelling on defining the values or working through with my feels. I find the ISFPs, they might be, they might lead a difficult life, right? A lot of them are struggling artists and they're apparently the MBTI type that earns the least amount of money. I think I know of one ISFP. But the thing is, I think that they don't suffer from all this overthinking complications that INFPs do. I think that they can have way more chaotic lives, but they can deal with the chaos. While INFPs get anxious about everything. And I don't know. The NE makes you doubt everything, and so yeah, it would be nice to just be in the world and just be okay with it, and be able to do things in the world. I don't know if you guys have seen Von Pete's video where he talks about how he jokes about how he doesn't have SE, so he can't do anything in the world because he doesn't have SE. And so he walks around and then he's like, I can't even walk because I'm an INFP, so I'm not connected to the world at all. So he can't even enjoy the landscape because he can't enjoy the world because he doesn't have SE. He's SE blind, right? Like us INFPs. And then he says he can't even eat food because he can't use his jaw and swallow because that involves using your body, which is SE, So obviously INFPs, we can use our body, it's just that we're not connected to the world, physically. Or at least that's how we conceptualize the world. I feel like totally disconnected from what my body is doing most of the time. Yeah, Sick is like, oh, that video. I don't know. There are certain videos that there are very few videos I rewatch, but I do sometimes rewatch that video and I revisit the day in the life behind the scenes of Von Pete's video. I watch that sometimes, I rewatch that video because it just makes me laugh so much every time I watch it. It's like, it's seldom that video makes me laugh several years after I watched it the first time. Yeah, the video we're all ISTJs in the end. That one is good. He's like, he made us a song about filming ducks. Yeah, so I don't know. The thing is, I don't have any video editing software or skills because I'm not really interested in doing all that. But Von Pete actually is interested in photography and filming and stuff. So, and he's made his own music. I mean, he acts like it's a joke, but they're really good songs. It's just that the lyrics are silly. So it's funny how we can influence each other. And now every time that I see ducks, I'm like, and that I feel the need to film them, I have that song of filming ducks. It's okay to filming ducks. Oh, that song just keeps coming up. And it's like, nobody else in this world knows this song apart from, a few 100 people maybe at most in the world. And yeah, I don't know. I feel so thankful to have met so many like talented and fun people on the internet. Um, but so yeah, I also like the we're all ISTJs in the end. It's a melancholic song, you know. You say we're all ISTJs in the end. Anyway, yes, where you mentioned C.S. Joseph, we all like that one too. My favorite cat is ISFP. Yeah, I think that cats and ISFPs kind of go together. Like, it's kind of they're the same. They have the same vibe. Like it's their spirit animal, kind of. I think that INFPs are like the anxious cats. But I think that ISFPs definitely are like cats. But yeah, the problem is that the NE just makes a bunch of problems for us. You know, it makes us cool in our own way, but it's not as great to have in the world as the SE. Yeah. I don't know if my ISFJ's sister, if she is an ESFP or an ISFP, but I think that she's an ISFP. And she's really interested in sports. So she's gone on to become a personal trainer and a physiotherapist. And she works at the gym. And she's really gotten strong, you know. And she's like addicted to sports. Like she can't not do sports. That's her thing, and she just loves it so much. And when she goes on holiday, she always has to go to the gym, even when she's on holiday, because otherwise she doesn't feel good. And she's also really good at piano. And she has written in her journal every day for the past like 5 years at least. I mean, I don't have that sort of discipline, but you know, she does it for like the aesthetic, I guess. And you know, she has her sense of style and everything. I really admire that. It's just that I'm way too chaotic in my own brain to do anything. Also, I think that the one thing that is a little bit problematic for ISFPs is that their SE makes, like, when they are stubborn, it's like even worse than INFPs. Because INFPs, like, they doubt everything all the time. So it's like they'll doubt themselves and their beliefs for everything. But ISFPs, if they've got their idea that this is how things are and this is what they want in their life, they're going to go for it no matter what anybody else says, and they might ruin their lives and all the relationships of the people around them for this one thing. There's also another girl who I think is ISFP, also friends with my ISFJ and his sister, and she's really has a really cool sense of style, but she's always creating drama all the time because she can't, you know, she can't keep quiet about things if things are not going well at her work or whatever. She's always like pointing things out, and she creates a bunch of drama with friends. I think that she's mellowed out with time, but it's intense. When she gets angry, it's like, you know, and my ISFJ friend tries to like calm her down, but yeah, it gets kind of scary sometimes. It's like, you know, the volcano has erupted if you know. So I think that she gets really sensitive about things. But yeah, I think in general the ISFPs have a better time in this on this planet than INFPs do. Not to like say that sensors are sheep or whatever, because that's not what I mean. What I mean is rather that yeah, there are more sensors in the world, so your point of view will be more shared by other people. I do think that ISFPs are maybe the most intuitive of the sensors, because their NI third slot really makes them intuitive, sometimes on a very deep level that INFPs don't have, because we don't have NI in our stack. Yeah, 6 says, I'm on the opposite side concerning sports. I can't seem to like it. Yeah, well, me too. I wish I could. I went to get into running because I'm doing, I'm going to be part of a race on the 21st of May. But yeah, I can't seem to really do the connection with the body. Like, I went to get into yoga and all these things. It's I don't know, there's like a blockage there. And it's like, yeah, I don't really, it's just hard to find the motivation to do that. And the things don't come naturally to me, so it just feels like such a drag every time. But yeah, I'm going to try the running at least. I do walk, yes, exactly. I walk in the forest. I do that tour that I would say maybe is, I mean, it's to the big grocery store. It takes me half an hour walk to and fro if I don't go through the forest. If I go through the forest, the entire endeavor would maybe take me 2 hours. So maybe the forest thing would be like 1 hour. It's like 6 kilometers, I guess, something like that. So, yeah, today I walked an hour and a half. But yeah, but most days, all I do is I walk to and from work, which isn't much. It's only 15 minutes to and 15 minutes back. When I was at the hospital, it took me 40 minutes walk. It was actually more of a half-hour walk, so half hour there, half hour back. So I get my exercises through there, you know. But I don't do things that make my pulse go up, or like, also the problem I figured out with this is that I am extremely bad at the showering bit, and if I exercise more, I'll have to shower more, and it's a problem for me because my autism is just hates showers in all senses of the word, you know, like the sensory aspect, the, you know, the sound, the cold, the, you know, the task initiation, the task transition, you know, just the planning thing of it, the doing the skills in the right order thing of it. It's just hard. And so thinking that, oh, I'm going to go have a run and then I'm going to be all sweaty afterwards and I'm going to have to shower. Yeah, it makes me even more not want to do it, you know? And so, yeah, it's awful. I should get into walking as well. I've heard it's healthy or something, this track. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I do walking. That's because I don't really have a choice. I went to get into cycling, or I went to get a bicycle, but I don't think that I'm very clumsy, and I think that I have dyspraxia. The engineer, I said, she's seeking an autism diagnosis. Yeah, it's good. People are seeking autism diagnosis. Because I mean, people used to not get diagnosed at all. and I think that there are a lot of engineers that are autistic. Like there are a lot of doctors that are autistic. Oh, by the way, I posted on my community page about Emily Dickinson being autistic. And there's a video essayist, Mika, I think. I don't know. She's autistic creator and she makes video essays. And her first video was one of the best videos that I've seen in terms of video essays. That was about how autistic people were court jesters, maybe, or fools at one point of time, like how disability history is. And so now she made one that was about Emily Dickinson being probably autistic. And I've made a video for like a long time ago about Emily Dickinson being INFP, I thought. A lot of people would say that she's an INFJ, which could be true. I'm not saying against that. I see a lot of points for the SI-ME axis. I could also see the NI-SE axis. I think that what I was picking up on that I was relating so hard wasn't the INFP-ness of it, it was the autism part of it. And, you know, we'll never know what type she was or what psychiatric diagnosis she has because she's not, you know, she's not alive to be diagnosable. Also, autism is not a psychiatric illness, it's a neurodevelopmental condition. I mean, nobody knew about these things at the time. But what I found was interesting was that because Emily Dickinson was so privileged, that that disability at the time, if you were poor, you were basically abandoned, and if you were rich, then you were counted as an eccentric person, you know, because you didn't need to provide for your own life. So you could just be like Emily Dickinson and just isolate yourself from the world and still be appreciated as a person, as like a kind person or, you know, a kind soul or something, if you were rich, which the Emily Dickinson's family was, you know. Okay, great about gaming profile, liked it. Yeah, no, I liked doing gaming profile. But I'm not a gamer, but I know that you are, so so yes, I partly posted that because of you, but I know that there are other people who like gaming in my in my community. So yeah, the gaming profile was pretty interesting. But the Emily Dickinson video really pointed out that, yeah, okay, so they didn't have these diagnoses, but these people who had autism have always existed. It's just that they're, you know, they were just counted as eccentric or like spiritual or whatever. And that's what I was picking up in her poetry, because my poetry and her poetry, I mean that obviously I base myself off her poetry. She didn't base herself off me, but yes, I know, Sick, that you sent me an email with the gamer profile. I know. And it was cool because it seemed like you liked immersive gaming. Well, with the story was very important for you. For me, the story is important. However, I don't want just story. I think that I like the characters more. That's why I like Genshin Impact, because yeah, a lot of it is just based around which characters you like. It's a gacha game, so obviously they're going to put a lot of effort into the characters. But I like exploring the world, and I like creating my own little worlds, like a simulation game kind of thing. So I'm a lot into the Genshin Impact teapot where you can like create your own little house basically and grow the vegetables. Persona 2, very character story driven. Okay. Yeah. No, I mean I uninstalled Genshin Impact because I realized I was taking too much space on my phone and I couldn't film videos anymore because of that. I couldn't do anything with my phone because it was just yeah, it was too much. It was taking too much space. So I yeah, I realized, okay, so I can't really be I can't really be in the story, you know. Also, I don't really like the Natlan thing. But I really like just exploring things in Genshin Impact. It's an open world, which I really like discovering the different parts of the world and such. And I go through the Archon quest, which is the main quest, and I've done some like the side quests and such. But the thing is, I'm not interested in getting good at it, you know? Like, I'm not interested in powering up my characters or my weapons or anything. So I end up being at a ridiculously low strength in my characters. And I end up not being able to do anything. like, like I'm really handicapped in gaming. Because I can't do strategy either, like figuring things out with that. The most strategy I've had to deal with is like Cookie Clicker. Like I've played Cookie Clicker where you like click and then you create these grandmas who can create more cookies, and the more cookies you have, the more that you've won, basically. And also you get to create a world with different ways of making more cookies. And yeah, so I have that. GTA. Open world, tons of characters. What's GTA? I don't know. I don't play video games in general, so like Genshin Impact is the game that I got most into, and I was really lousy at it. And my thing is that I love the characters, so I wanted to make a video about that, but I realized that I couldn't do screen recording on my phone. I wanted to go through each character and why I like them and or you know, how much I use them and such. Grand Theft Auto, okay, okay. It's not a wholesome game. Okay, no, no, I mean like open world that is wholesome, I guess. I've heard of Grand Theft Auto. I don't really know what it is. I'm guessing that it's like a automobile game, but maybe it's completely untrue. Where you like drive around. I don't know. Maybe it's something else. It's more fun to play in real life though. I don't know. Anyway, so in Genshin Impact, I wanted to go through each character and like kind of guess what MBTI type they were. But I couldn't really do that because like I don't know how to do that practically with like sharing my screen and such. No, it's misleading. Okay, so it's not about cars at all, I guess. But it's about games. Okay. Okay, not for me. I like my little Genshin characters. So and obviously my favorite Genshin character, the one that I've played the most, is Thoma. And like nobody likes Thoma, but Thoma is like he's just a sweet guy. He just he's just a wholesome guy, and I think that he's like an ESFJ guy, ESFJ guy, and he's just like, oh, you know, he just immediately accepts me as his best friend, and I I just like that. So yeah, I like Thoma. I think that another one of my favorites is Sucrose, who is I think like an INTP or an INFP.
A lot of people type her INTP. I kind of want to think of her as an INFP. It's just that she works in the lab, and she's just incredibly nervous and anxious all the time. And she's just so shy, and she really wants the best, and she's just so sweet. But I think that she's kind of autistic coded as well. But yeah, she's just really a sweet character, and she was one of the first ones that I got, so I really loved her. Then I got Kazuha, and so after getting Kazuha, it's like, well, that was the end of Sucrose for my account. But because Kazuha is just stronger, I just find, and he's just easier to play. Now, nobody probably was watching as playing Genshin Impact, so I don't know. I think that Kazuha has an ISFP. I don't know. I was a little bit disappointed, to be honest, seeing him in the actual story quest, like an actual how he actually interacts. I thought that he was going to be much more soft and such, and actually he's a little bit more of a jokester guy than I thought that he would be. He sometimes reminds me, well, talking about ISFPs, he kind of reminds me of INFJ. And I think that that's a very common mistype of, ISFPs mistyping as INFJs. I think that that is a real thing that could happen because the SE and I dichotomy thing, and both being introverted and being creative people and having this deep intuition and all that. I think that these things, they can look very much like each other. So yeah. I really like playing as gaming. What does that mean? The munchiest munch. Hello, the munchiest munch. Munchiest munch. I know Genshin Impact, but I only played some very early quests. Yeah. In the very beginning, I would say that I really like the characters. Like, even the ones that aren't my favorites, I'm just like, oh, there's Amber. She's just always happy and wants to do things, and wants to bring us in on the adventure. And then there's Lisa, and she just flirts with us all the time, but she's sweet in her own way. And, then there's Kaya, and he's a jerk, but he's on our side, and so I'm just like, oh, these are all these little friends, is a force. Oh, gaming. Sorry, I say gaming because I'm just like gaming. Oh, I really loved. I was there in the event of gaming. Was it like the Lantern Rite or something? I loved his story. I was like, this is one of the best thought out stories out of, like, some of these stories are just like basic, like this character likes to work a lot and needs to take a break, like, but his story was really interesting. And I think that if you like playing Kazuha like me, I think that I would like playing gaming because it's the plunge kind of dynamic. Also, he has a really cool like fire dragon mask. Yeah, the thing is, because I've been playing Toma as my fire character, my pyro, I can't really. I'm having a hard time replacing Toma with anything else, even though he's like not very strong. Toma's not really strong when it comes to actual pyro power, but I've heard that gaming has become very strong. Because they have new dynamics with the different characters, newest characters and all that. I don't know, but I just find also, so gaming is kind of like Toma in personality. I think that gaming might be like an INFJ or something. ISFP. I don't know, but they're just really wholesome guys. I don't know about my typing for gaming, but I don't know, I seem to be drawn towards nice guys. And I mean, like, really kind guys. And so both Toma and Gaming seem like those kinds of guys. And that's the kind of people I'm friends with in real life as well. So yeah, it's just sweet men. I'm just friends with guys who, are compassionate and a little bit subdued and a little bit sweet. I just really like that. And I think those guys need a little bit more appreciation. And so yeah, so that's the kind of character I guess that I'm attracted to as well in the video game life. So yeah, Toma, Gaming, Kazuha to a lesser degree now. But yeah, so they're just sweet guys. And also in video game culture, like you have these archetypes of people. So yeah, I think that Genshin Impact is the game that I would play if I had to play a game, but there are probably other games that are similar. I thought that I would like Animal Crossing or something like that, but the thing is, I just found that I did not like any of the characters. And Tom Nook is just a terrible guy. And I thought they would be more like either a multiplayer game or game where I did not really have to interact with characters, but unfortunately, it seems like you have to interact with characters. And it was too stressful. I found Animal Crossing stressful, which is probably not how it's supposed to be interpreted. But yeah, I would think it is a compliment. Yes, Sick. You're you're one of those sweet guys. We've got plenty of sweet guys in the comments, and yeah, unfortunately, I have also a bunch of terrible guys in the comments, and so it's like I keep having to say disparaging things about men in my videos because I get such weird comments sometimes from people. But yeah, I know that there are the sweet guys in the comments somehow. It's just that I get scared that they're actually creeps because I've had bad experience. It's not how I want to interact with people, but that's how it is sometimes. If you're a woman on the internet, so it's like, it's hard. Anyway, let me just check that I can put all of the food into this a plate. I'm going to come back and check on the live chat. But I feel like I need to drink something because I haven't had anything to drink to this. Let's put the chicken into this plate. I must say that the chicken did end up being really good. And actually it was quite okay with the bulgur. It's fine. It's just that I had wished for it to be a little bit better with this bulgur stuff. But we're just pouring it into the plate here. That's the thing, is that when I ordered HelloFresh, it's 3 different recipes at the time. Now I got 25% off because there was a deal to get me back into HelloFresh. But so I usually choose 3 different kinds of protein. So I don't want to have 3 chicken dishes. So I have a chicken dish, I have a fish dish, and I have a teriyaki Vigo vegetarian bean based protein thing. So it's supposed to look like pulled pork, I think, but in vegetarian option. Yeah, and okay, I'm eating straight out of this saucepan. But yeah, so I also want 3 different kinds of starches. So I have bulgur, I have rice with the teriyaki, and I have potato mousse with the fish. So that's 3 different kinds of starches. And then I try to not choose, I also try to choose one of those proteins being vegetarian. And then I try to choose like one thing that's exotic, I guess, you know, one thing that's like Asian or from some other culture, at least, and one that is more traditional Swedish, or like European, I guess. So it takes me a long time to decide on these things because I have so many criteria. And then it's also, I don't want to have the recipes that are too short or too long. I don't want the ones that are like 15 minutes because it's often like they're just provide, you know, it's not worth doing the HelloFresh for like a very simple one, because it costs a lot of money. And then I also want it to not be super high on the calorie scale, because some of these are like 1,000 calories per portion, you know, and it's 2 portions per meal. And you know, I'm not saying counting calories is good, but I kind of need to, you know, be a little bit careful there, because these ones that I've done now are around 600-700 calories per portion, which I find is you know, a decent meal. There was like a pizza that I could have chosen to take, but I realized, like, well, first of all, I would have really needed olive oil for that one, but also it said that it was 1,000 calories per portion, which I was like, oh, okay, let's calm down a little bit. Anyway, nobody's writing anything, so I'm going to go and get something to drink, and just put the yogurt into the fridge, and put this plate. For you guys who haven't seen it yet, here's my plate with the things. I'm going to add that into the fridge. I just got really thirsty all of a sudden, so all this work. Maybe we could make ourselves like a lemonade, or at least like a lemon juice with sugar, because I got all these lemons, or I mean, I had 1 lemon, okay. It's just I'm not going to be using all this lemon, so let's make the lemonade for ourselves. I wish I had some mint. I have some, like, what's it called? That mint that is like, what's it called? The mint that is sugary. No, not sugary. Lemony mint. If somebody knows what lemony mint is, I don't feel like putting lemony mint together with lemon in a lemonade. That seems like overkill. But yeah, so I'm just squishing a little bit of lemon into a cup. So you guys are not seeing any of that, which is unfortunate, but I'm going to get my fingers all dirty from this lemon. To be honest, it's not really pretty, so I don't think that you're missing much. But I think that we just want a little bit more lemon.
I'm just eating off the pulp of the lemon. Yeah. Okay. Let's keep squeezing the lemon pieces. One lemon piece more. Okay. You guys are probably getting bored there. It's your opportunity to talk amongst yourselves. That's what like all the teachers, all my teachers say, like, okay, talk amongst yourselves so that they can take a break. Yeah, I mean, I've gone on for way too long, so I should probably end the live, but I kind of feel like I'm on a roll right now, so we actually want to keep doing this. Ugh, there's so much to clean after this. Okay. Now I got some, unfortunately I got some parsley out here, so I'm not going to be able to pick it out, but let's add some sugar. It looks like mint, but parsley. Okay, where is the sugar? There's some sugar. Okay, sugar. There. And some water. Okay, this isn't the way that you're supposed to make a lemonade, but it kind of works. Kind of works. Okay. We just need to stir it up a little bit. Okay. Oh, good. Okay. All this to make this. And there's like a little parsley leaf in there. Okay, wait. Oh, things are happening. Things are happening in the comments. Woohoo. Okay, I'm glad for that. Just wanted to say I appreciate you because I'm also an IFP and a woman in medicine. Oh, that's great. First year of IM residency, and your videos really helped me when I felt that I was struggling and overwhelmed. Oh, that's the best compliment. That's the best comment ever. I mean, like, that makes me really happy. Because I felt alone, and that's why I started a channel. To be honest, like, it was because I was an INFP starting medical school, and I noticed that there was nobody else that was saying that they were an INFP in medical school. So yeah, good luck with your residency. I'm going to be a senior in 2 months, and it's kind of terrifying, but I made good friends in the program. Haha. Oh. I don't know when you become a senior or a junior or whatever, but I mean, for us in Sweden, it's built a little bit different because you go to medical school, which is like a master's degree, like an undergraduate, I guess, and then you do an internship, which is 1.5 years, and then you do your residency, which is 5 years here in Sweden, but it's different in every country. So you're in the US, yeah, okay. Eucalyptus citronné. I don't know about mint. No, because I have this plant here. Let me show you guys. Are you in Sweden too? No, I'm in the US. Okay. And the sick is in France. Okay. So this is the plant, and it smells like lemony mint kind of stuff. It smells really good, but it's like, I don't know what it is. Okay, this leaf is a little bit crunchy. Okay. And I kind of crunch it between my fingers, and it kind of makes me happy. But I don't know if it goes well with my the lemonade thingy. Anyway, my lemonade is actually quite good. Okay, what's going on here? We'd love to visit Sweden though.
Yeah, it is a nice place. I'm going to be making videos like talking about Swedish foods. Thing is, I was going to make one about filmjölk, which is a kind of yogurt. But then I wanted to show you guys a kind of filmjölk that I found that was really interesting. And then I found out that they stopped producing it in 2023, which really disappointed me. So they don't produce longfil anymore, which, yeah, I found that it was good. So I was sad about that. I did one about blood pudding, and now I want to make one about this caviar thing that you put on sandwiches. So yeah, I'm going to keep doing those. It's just that it depends on what I find at the store and what is on sale and whatever. So yeah, especially visiting Grid. Oh yay! That's so cool. I would go to France for the croissants. Yeah, the croissants are great. But if you want the same experience, you can go to Lidl and buy their frozen croissants and cook those, because it's basically like fresh croissants. I know that it's sacrilegious for me to say that, but it really is. If you can't go to France, like that's almost as good, when it comes to croissants. Pretty nice here in Sweden, except in the summer. Too much heat and sunlight. Too much heat and sunlight in Sweden? Are you joking? Sometimes I don't know when people are joking in the comments. Is knowledge of autism better today, or has the criteria become easier? The DSM hasn't changed for many years. Message retracted. Yeah. Happy enough dude. Are you French or Swedish? I'm both. But yeah, so your message got retracted, so I forgot what you said exactly when I said it. So basically autism, what was it? Is it easier to get diagnosed basically? No, there's more knowledge about it, so that's why. And there are plenty of people that went undiagnosed because the autism diagnosis did not exist until like the 60s or something. So plenty of people probably had autism and then were not diagnosed. Now we know. But I'm not a doctor, I'm a physics field, mainly material science. The way you pronounce eucalyptus citronné. Yeah. What, no more longfil? I haven't had that in ages. Yeah, exactly. I wanted to show the world about the magic of longfil. And because I found it so funny to like pour the longfil. So yeah, they don't produce, Arla does not produce longfil since 2023. So we missed our mark there. But I always find it funny when tourists come to Sweden and they see the yogurt package and the milk packages and they all look the same. And so then they go home with longfil and then it's like, what is this thing? But yeah, they can't get confused anymore. I'm guessing that not enough people wanted to eat longfil every day, It's kind of a special kind of fil. But yeah. Are you French or Swedish? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so this Drac is also sad about the fact that this weird food product does not exist anymore. It was just a kind of yogurt, you could say, but it was really thick, and it would be like stringy thick, like it would gloop, and it was very sour. And yeah, it's something that doesn't exist anymore. Maybe there's somebody who has like a recipe to do that on your own with milk, but they don't produce it in the stores anymore because they closed that one plant that does the thing. I mean, who knows? It might come back, but oh, that was good. I mean, I really needed that. I think I am going to just add some water to this sugar to make like some sugar water. How's that? Because I need that. Oh, God. Okay. That was needed. I was like dying. Okay. There's so much to clean. It does stress me out, all of the things that I have to clean. According to Wikipedia, Norrmejerier still makes Longfil, so at least one company makes it. Oh, well, I went to every store that I usually shop at. You know, I went to ICA, I went to Coop, I went to Hemköp. You know, all the big place. And yeah, I didn't see it anywhere. I found the Bollnäsfil, but I don't think that is the same. I haven't eaten Bollnäsfil for a long time, so I don't know if I should try that out. Maybe if it's different from regular fil, then it might be worth it so that I can feel myself eating that, you know. But I'm not sure. You're making me crave lemonade now. So, yeah, well, when you have lemons, make lemonade. But yeah, now this water has barely any lemon left. But I needed that. Wow. I felt like my brain was like low on sugar. Even though I just ate, but I don't know how much sugar was in that. The bulgur was the sugars, the carbohydrates. But I needed a little bit of that sugar cake. Okay, there's all this sugar at the bottom, which I don't know, I guess I'll have to scoop up later. Oof, okay, we've gone on for 2 hours and 30 minutes. Maybe we should round it up before 3 hours have gone, but I can still stay for like a half hour more. If there's enough discussion. I just finished the audiobook for Persuasion by Jane Austen. So I've come to the conclusion that I'm not a Jane Austen fan. I'm not a Bronte fan. It doesn't mean that I hate their stuff, but it's just that I can't remember the names of the people, and I can't get myself too engaged into like who is in higher social standing than who, and who is in love with who, and who is married to who, and yeah, so it's hard for me. But I did like Persuasion did start picking up at the very end, like the last third or fourth of the book. Suddenly things started happening and I started to understand what was going on. But yeah, the conclusion of the book was a little bit disappointing in that, like, I'm not going to spoil because, well, I mean, I don't know if you count it as a spoiler if it's been hundreds of years, but basically like being aware of your social standing is important when you are thinking of marriage, and being sensible in that way is good. That's kind of the moral of the story, which, yeah, okay, maybe it was true at that time, but it's, yeah, it's kind of a disappointing conclusion to a love story, I find. But okay, so I did get through that audiobook because my library actually offers free audiobooks, and I've figured out the app. It's not very easy to navigate, but I've figured that I can actually get 8 books for free in audiobook format through my library every month. So I'm going to try that. They don't have a lot of books in English, a lot of audiobooks in English, but yeah, there are a few of them. There was this one person who had done 10,000 different audiobooks, and unfortunately, I do not enjoy this person's English voice because I wanted to listen to Sherlock Holmes, and I was expecting like a man's voice, a British man's voice, basically. And, like probably more like an older man's voice, like very traditional. And then it ends up that I was like, this voice is really weird. And first of all, it was an American, and it was a woman, and it was an African American woman. But she had, I mean, that in itself doesn't mean anything, but the voice just did not fit the book at all. And I mean, I guess that she tried really hard and creating, like, lowering her voice and speaking British English, but it just felt completely wrong for that book. There are other books that it's less important about what the accent is or whatever. I find that if I'm going to be reading Sherlock Holmes, I want a man's voice doing the reading, and it has to be British. If I'm going to be reading Sense and Sensibility or Persuasion or whatever, I want it to be a woman's voice, and I want it to be a British voice. Yeah, and sometimes it just goes wrong. And so I was listening to the Yellow Wallpaper, and then it was a man's voice. And that, the whole thing about the Yellow Wallpaper is that it's coming from a woman's mind. So, it's kind of like the diaries of a mad woman, you could say. So that was also jarring. So I'm really picky in like who is the narrator of the different books that I read. Often, if it's the author, it's the best. But some authors, don't want to go through all the hassle of making an audiobook, which I understand. We can't all be good at that. But yeah, I wish that more authors voiced their own audiobooks, because a lot of these, some voice actors are really wonderful, but some are not, and some of them are really good in certain books and not good in others. So yeah, I'm going to be going through the audiobook library and figuring out what I like. What is good is that I don't need to pay for each of those books that I'm listening to. So now I can test a little bit around a little bit more. Okay. 6 says, my colleague likes podcasts. Last Friday, she was listening to Histoire de France, les Mérovingiens. She seems really knowledgeable. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of liked the Mérovingiens before the Carolingiens came. the kings of France. Anyway, I just I remember there was a period where I was really interested in like early Middle Age stuff, and I read books about the Middle Ages. It's part of the school program in France where, at least when I was growing up, you sixth grade we would go through antiquity, and then in seventh grade we would go through what's it called? We would go through the Middle Ages, and then in eighth grade we would go through like the period with like the Revolution and all that, the French Revolution, and then we would get closer in time to us, which would be like contemporary stuff with so then we would get to World War One and World War Two. So it in general, that's kind of the timeline. And so when we were reading about Middle Ages, I just loved it. And there was the Roman de Renard, which was the fox who, that book was so popular in France that the word for fox actually came from that book. Because it used to be called a goupil instead of a renard. And anyway, I really liked foxes at the time, and so I was like really hyper focused on that one thing. I also really liked imagining myself as like a princess or a knight, or like or even just the surf, and the music and all that. I got into all of sorts of different rabbit holes around that. Yeah, we read Le Cid, which was pretty boring. But yeah, it was just an interesting time period for me, I think. Like the Dark Ages, the way that's, there was a completely different life. And Clovis and all that, the Charlemagne. Yeah, I remember that being really interesting to me. I've forgotten most of the things, unfortunately. I'd really like to find audiobooks for the Witcher books. I really enjoy the characters and the lore in the game. Does The Witcher have a game? Oh, maybe there's like a video game that is The Witcher. I haven't seen or read or anything about The Witcher. I know about it, and I know that there's this guy that all of the girls on Tumblr really love. This really sweaty and grimy guy. Handsome but like dark kind of. That's all I know. I've been thinking, I have the nurse at my job, the one who was really nice and gave me a hug the other day. He is really into fantasy. We're both gay, so there's something about gay people in fantasy. But I mean, I'm just generalizing here. It's a silly thing to say, but I think that he just really, he's just a really nice guy. But yeah, fantasy, I haven't gotten into fantasy for a long time. And I think that's because I got, I read Lord of the Rings like 2 years ago or something, a year and a half ago. And then I kind of gave up on that after that. I think it's also because fantasy, it's kind of stuck with me that I was really into Harry Potter for a while, and then like I got, because I don't want to read any more Harry Potter due to J.K. Rowling, I just, my brain has a blockage towards reading fantasy. It's kind of irrational and stupid, but it's just kind of the thing, you know. So I've read a little bit of Game of Thrones, but that was a few years ago, and I want to get back into reading the first book. I'm not interested in reading the whole series because, I mean, that's a lot. I do want to read Wheel of Time, at least the first book as well. But yeah, The Witcher is not on my list at the moment because I'd like to read those two books first. The first in this series. I don't want to read a whole series unless I'm really excited about, you know. Then I've read Outlander as well, the first 3 books. But I don't know, they're fantasy, but it's different, I guess, because it's a little bit more like historical fiction. Geralt, yes. The Witcher 3 is a fantastic open world game. I'm gay too. Yes. Witcher 3 seems really nice. Mostly like riding around on a horse instead of actually playing the game, lol. Yeah, that's kind of like me on Genshin Impact. I was just like there picking up mushrooms in the forest instead of actually like playing the game and doing the quests. So yeah, that makes sense to me. But yeah, riding a horse around would be kind of fun in the game. For riding, I like Red Dead Redemption 2. Okay. I don't know about these things, so I will let you guys discuss. Yeah. Fine. Whoa. I don't know. What else am I reading? I finally got the book The Vegetarian by Han Kang, so I'm finally going to start reading that because I read her poetry book, The White Book, and she won the Nobel Prize for Literature this year, so I'm really interested in The Vegetarian. And yeah, I need to bring back The Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman back to the library. I started reading The Buried Giant by Kazuo Ishiguro, but you know, because Kazuo Ishiguro is my favorite author, but I think that this is one of his less good novels. I think I've read, unfortunately, his best, because the ones I have left, there's The Pale View of the Hills, which my library doesn't have. Then there's The Buried Giant, which I was trying to read now. And then there was The Unconsoled, and that one seems to be very big and very confusing for a lot of people. So they're not his most liked books. I've read all of his most liked books. And then there was one that was When We Were Orphans, which isn't one of the best books either, according to different reviews. So yeah, I read basically all of his other books. Anyway, have you ever played Stardew Valley? I didn't like Animal Crossing either, but really enjoyed Stardew Valley. I don't know if it was Stardew Valley, but this was when I was a child. Like I was a teen, and I went to the US and I have a friend there from like when I was 5. I have a friend that's there, and her dad is like an astrophysicist, so he would always get like the latest technology on everything. So the first time I played a Wii was at her house, and you know, the first time I saw Google Maps was at her house. And she would play Gaia Online, and she would play VMK, and she would play a lot of different games. She was really into anime. Really bright person, but she I think that she's an ISFP actually. Um, talking about ISFPs, she was really intense. But yeah, so she was really into anime, and yeah, so she played, I think, Stardew Valley. But it must have been like the first game of Stardew Valley. Anyway, it was basically like there was a game and you had a farm. And I don't really remember, but I remember that I found it cool, but I don't know if it was on PlayStation or whatever it was, but I do not have any consoles and I never had one, so. May I Stand Unshaken is the name of the song. Great song. If your library doesn't have the book you want, then ask a librarian if they can order it for you. They have some cooperation with other libraries. Yes, I'm the person who is ordering 10,000 books from the library, and I'm actually feeling a little bit guilty because I've ordered so many books through my library, and they always buy the books. I'm like, what are you guys doing with all the money? So yeah, I do order books through my library. It's just that there are so many books that I want to read, so I limit myself to a certain amount. At the moment, I've so I only order one book at a time, and it takes like 2 months for the book to arrive or something and be finished. So maybe I order one book every 2 months. And so lately mostly I've been ordering books about autism. So I'm proud to be the person to have to have gotten the book Unmasking Autism into my library and the book How to ADHD into my library. And now I'm getting another book about autism into the library. And you can also see on their website like how many times this book has been loaned during the year. And I see that five different people have taken out Unmasking Autism this year. So I'm glad that I asked them to order the book, because it's apparently a very liked book to take out. There are some other autistic people around, I guess, that really found that useful. But yeah, so yes, I'm keeping the librarian busy. Yeah, so I don't want to order more than one book at a time, and so I ordered. They even took French books. They ordered Proust's first book, À la recherche du temps perdu, du côté de chez Swan. I actually, they ordered that book, and they'll order books in other languages as well, which is like really amazing, but yeah, so I'm thinking, like if I really want a book, I can get it. It's just I need a little bit of patience because it takes a while for them to order it. But I try to be restrictive because I don't want them to ruin themselves, because also I feel a little bit guilty also because the money for culture is the same money that goes for healthcare, because it's a region and I work within regional healthcare. So yeah, I kind of feel sad that I'm all for having money for culture, but our healthcare system isn't doing too well. So, I wish that they could put a little bit more money into our healthcare system rather than into ordering all sorts of books for me. But yeah, but yeah, I don't want the libraries to close or to have problems there. But I think that maybe the library could be a little bit more restrictive in how many books they order from me. Maybe they really like my book suggestions, and that's why all of mine get accepted. Maybe some people ask for more books and then they don't accept it. I don't know. But for me, they've accepted every single book that I've asked. So I don't know what that is, but okay. Anyway, okay, we're nearing the 3-hour mark, so we're going to end the live soon. Tell me if you have any questions before we round this up. Yeah, Dee from Older INFP Insights tried to make a live, and then she ended up, her screen ended up becoming all purple and whatever. I don't know what happened to her computer. But anyway, I'm glad that it doesn't happen to my phone. Okay, I wanted to get the last sugary thing, but I'm like a little bee, like sugar, like a little hummingbird getting the little sugar from a straw. Yeah, maybe I should make myself some tea, but it's a little bit too late, I guess. When is the next live? I don't know. Because I don't know when my next HelloFresh thingy will be. Because the reason I did it this time is because of I got a sale, a good price. Decaf tea. I mean, I have a sleepy tea, but yeah, I don't want to turn the tea kettle on when it's so late, because I mean, it is a Saturday, but I don't want loud noises at night, so my tea kettle is kind of noisy. I just enjoy these lives really much. I know. And I've avoided them because, unfortunately, there are some people who have been really disruptive during my lives in the past. And so that has made me really sad, because also I can't retract any statements. When I'm doing a live, I can't go back and think my answers through. And so, yeah, it doesn't really work that well. So, yeah, if there's somebody in the comments that ends up triggering me or doing something, then I I don't want to have to block them and delete them, but or pause them from the chat or whatever. But that's kind of what you have to do, because it affects for everybody else, unfortunately. I don't know when next time will be. I mean, it will be soon, I guess, because now when the spring is coming, I get more motivation to do these things. So I might do something like this in May or June or something, but I can't really say. It depends on if I have a long weekend. Maybe I could do it on a long weekend. Next week is Easter, but it's, I don't want to do this 2 weeks in a row, because it takes too much of my energy. Because this takes my whole Saturday. I can do other things, but I never know when the delivery is coming. If the delivery comes today, it came at 9, but sometimes the delivery comes at 6, and it's there's no way for me to know until I've already done the order, and they decide when the delivery comes, and I need to be at home when the delivery comes so that I can put it in my fridge and directly do this. And yeah, I also need time to do the dishes beforehand, because otherwise I have to do it during the live, which I didn't really do. So yeah. Anyway, I think that this is the end, because we've passed the 3-hour mark. Woohoo! So yeah, we're going to end it here. So bye everybody, and have a great night. Yes, you should go to the park and listen to music or audiobooks instead. That's my plan tomorrow. Well, I did listen to my audiobooks on my way to the grocery store today. I did the forest walk. But yeah, so that's a great plan. Très belle soirée, bonne nuit. Bye bye. Thank you. Bye. How do we close this? Good night.